3 years ago, everything changed when mysterious apex predators known as reapers emerged from sinkholes underground. Picture this. One moment you're enjoying a peaceful day in the Rockies, and the next, bam! Giant monsters are exterminating humanity faster than you can say run for your life. These reapers are not your average neighborhood pets. They are armored monsters that made Godzilla look like a kitten. With 95% of the population wiped out, survivors are forced to live in pocketed communities at elevations above 8,000 feet because apparently, these creatures have a strict no-climbing policy. Will, a single father who is trying to navigate this chaotic new world while caring for his son Hunter. Hunter has a lung disease that makes breathing at high altitudes more challenging than trying to teach a cat to fetch. Will is haunted by the loss of his wife Tara, who was killed by reapers during an expedition with Nina, a scientist who knows more about these monsters than anyone else. Talk about bad luck. It is like going on a blind date and discovering your date is actually an alien. As Hunter grows increasingly frustrated with their isolated life in Lost Gulch Refuge, he decides to venture beyond the safety line. You know what they say. Curiosity killed the cat. But in this case, it almost gets Hunter eaten. Hunter just wanted to see other people. I mean, who can blame him? After months of isolation and only having his dad for company. No offense to Will, he is itching for some social interaction. But when he returns just in time to avoid a Reaper attack, Will realizes they can't stay hidden forever. Faced with dwindling oxygen filters for Hunter's breathing machine and mounting desperation, Will makes the bold decision to venture below the safety line to find more supplies. It is either that or watch his son struggle to breathe like he has just run a marathon while wearing a bag over his head. Will knows it's dangerous down there, like going into a haunted house without any flashlights, but he is willing to risk it all for his son. So he recruits Nina, the hard-boiled scientist who has been working on ways to kill these pesky reapers. Joining them is Katie, a scrappy survivor who brings her own brand of humor and resourcefulness to the group. Think of her as the comic relief in this horror movie, always ready with a quip even when they are knee-deep in trouble. So now we have our trio. Will, the determined dad, Nina, the brainy scientist, and Katie, who is just trying to keep things light while facing death at every turn. It is like The Hangover meets the Jurassic Park, only with fewer laughs and way more monsters. As they embark on their perilous journey down Elba Fire Road toward Boulder, Colorado, they gather supplies along the way, including some heavy artillery like grenade launchers. Because nothing says family bonding quite like preparing for battle against giant monsters. Nina uses her invention, a compass that detects reapers based on their high bioelectromagnetic impulses to lead them safely through danger zones. It's like having GPS, but instead of finding your way home from work, you are trying not to get eaten alive. The trio sets off into the wilderness with their gear strapped tightly. The air is crisp and filled with tension as they navigate through dense forests and rocky terrain. Each step feels heavy with uncertainty. As they hike deeper into danger territory, Will can't help but reminisce about simpler times when hiking meant enjoying nature rather than dodging giant monsters. He chuckles nervously while recalling family trips where getting lost meant finding ice cream instead of running from reapers. Suddenly, they hear rustling nearby, a sound that sends chills down their spines. The tension builds as they cautiously approach the noise. Their first encounter with a reaper is nothing short of terrifying. Picture it. They are resting at an old ski lodge when suddenly, boom, a reaper bursts through the door like it is auditioning for America's Got Talent. Will quickly turns on the ski lift's backup generators because nothing says survival like using outdated technology against ancient monsters. They manage to escape just in time, but not without some close calls that would make even Indiana Jones sweat. As they flee through the lodge's back exit, Will shouts instructions while trying not to trip over his own feet. Run. Don't look back. Unless you want to see what happens when dinner gets hungry. They scramble down snowy slopes as chaos ensues behind them, the reaper smashing through walls like they are made of paper, after narrowly escaping their first encounter with death itself. And let's face it, who doesn't love a good near-death experience? Will's team finds themselves at an old mining tunnel ensconced, their only hope for refuge. This tunnel is both promising and terrifying. It could lead them straight into safety or right into another monster's mouth. And let me tell you, it's not exactly Yelp rated 5 stars for ambience. They enter cautiously. Darkness envelops them as they switch on their headlamps. This tunnel was sealed during the initial invasion. It might be risky, but it could also lead us closer to Boulder, Nina says. Will nods but can't shake off that nagging feeling in his gut. The kind you get after eating too much chili before bed. Inside the mines, things take a dark turn literally. The group encounters another reaper lurking in the shadows. This one isn't just hungry. It's downright hangry. As they navigate through narrow tunnels filled with echoes and shadows, Katie gets caught by one of its tendrils. Spoiler alert, she doesn't make it out. It's a shocking moment that reminds us all how quickly things can go south in this new world. Will fights back tears as he realizes how fragile life has become. I didn't sign up for this. I thought we were just going grocery shopping, Will says in despair. Nina tries her best to comfort him while keeping her focus on survival. Nina and Will manage to escape back to the surface above safety but are shaken by Katie's loss. It becomes clear, surviving isn't just about dodging monsters. It's also about dealing with grief and loss. Will wants nothing more than to return home to Hunter but realizes they need more than just luck. They need strategy. Nina proposes returning to her lab for magnesium supplies because she believes that lacing bullets with magnesium will penetrate those tough scales. The trek continues as they make their way toward Boulder. Along the journey, they find an abandoned hospital where oxygen filters are stored. But guess what? A Reaper is lurking nearby. It's like trying to sneak into your favorite restaurant after hours. Except instead of getting caught by security guards, you're facing off against giant monsters. Will uses his quick thinking and shoots gas canisters to stall it long enough for them to escape. As they flee through darkened hallways filled with medical equipment covered in dust and debris from years without care or attention, it feels eerily quiet until, after securing what they need from Boulder, Nina reveals her tragic backstory. She lost her family during an attack. This moment adds depth to her character and shows why she is so driven to find a way to fight back against these creatures. Nina isn't just some scientist. She has got skin in this game. Her determination fuels Will's resolve as well. They are both fighting not just for survival but for revenge against these monstrous invaders. She explains how she had once been part of a research team studying Reapers before everything went south. I watched my colleagues get taken down one by one. I won't let that happen again. Her fierce resolve ignites something within Will, a reminder that there are still people worth fighting for even when everything seems hopeless. As Will prepares to return home with supplies in hand, disaster strikes when his truck breaks down. The tires pop like balloons at a kid's birthday party. And guess what? The Reapers are closing in. It's every dad's nightmare. Stranded without help while being chased by monsters. But just when all seems lost and Will thinks he might have to start running marathons again, Nina arrives just in time. With her cobalt-laced bullets, the ones she finally perfected after countless attempts, Nina takes out several Reapers in spectacular fashion. They explode upon impact like fireworks on New Year's Eve. Finally making it back home after their harrowing adventure, Will reunites with Hunter. The relief is palpable as father and son embrace amid tears and laughter, a reminder that love conquers all, even giant alien monsters. They raise a pirate flag over Lost Gulch Refuge, a symbol of hope and resilience for all survivors nearby. It signifies that they've killed one of these beasts and encourages other communities across Colorado to arm themselves against future attacks.